Hi, it's Steve here at Broomhouse Hub, and yeah, just doing a wee demonstration on growing potatoes in grow sacks. So, all we need for this is our grow sack and a load of municipal compost, and in that municipal compost we have put some fertilizer, which is pelletized chicken manure. If you need that detail. So all we're going to do is take our seed potatoes. These have been chitted, which means that they have got their shoots, and we want to take 2 of these and put into the compost.
Can I just ask, Steve, what's a seed potato?
A seed potato, so this is just a regular potato that has been allowed to shoot. It's slightly different from the potatoes that you'll find in the supermarket in that these have been tested for disease. You could actually plant the potatoes that you've left at the back of your cupboard that have just shot, and you would get potatoes. The only difference is these go through rigorous testing to make sure that they're absolutely free from disease, whereas the ones in your from the supermarket may have some diseases in them. So we take these seed potatoes. These are a variety which are known as early seed potatoes. You can have first early, second early seed potatoes. They're grown to be harvested fairly quickly. These will take between sort of like 12 and 16 weeks. So if we plant these today, then we'll get potatoes sometime in August. There's another type, which is a main crop type of seed potatoes, and that can take sort of like between 16 to 20 weeks to be growing. They just grow on longer, they get bigger, they have thicker skins so that you can keep them and store them over the winter. But these typically are grown to be harvested at this size really quickly.
And can I ask, what time of year can we do this?
Sure. So for early potatoes here in Scotland, you can plant them from the beginning of April. You really want to have got your main crop potatoes in the ground by early May, but you could potentially be planting early and second early potatoes right the way through to June. In fact, there is a strategy for planting first earlies early in April, harvesting them, and then taking some of those harvested potatoes and sowing them again and getting some early potatoes for Christmas. But that takes a lot of really fine timing to make sure you get that. Right, so yeah, just we take our seed potatoes, just make a little hole in the compost, make sure that we get at least a couple of the little shoots pointing upwards.
So is it important to leave a gap between them, or could you just squeeze in loads of potatoes?
No, so we don't want to squeeze in loads of potatoes. If you're growing potatoes in the ground, you're probably leaving a foot between the potatoes, and for main crops, 18 inches between the potatoes. So, you know, obviously we're in confined space here, but out of those 2 potatoes, you know, you'll get a good sort of like couple of pounds of potatoes to harvest.
Thanks.
So that's really all it takes at this stage, is just to cover them up, and in 2 or 3 weeks you should see the shoots come out from the compost, the green leaves emerging from the compost, and you could just leave it at that. Just put them in a nice sunny spot to be growing, watering them. Don't let them dry out. You won't get very good potatoes if you forget to water them. In fact, you know, they could easily sort of like die off. So just keeping the compost moist, Ideally, yeah, in a nice sunny spot that gets at least sort of like 8-10 hours of sunshine a day.
Speed for that, then.
Well, you know, just obviously, you know, the sun is in and out, but
Yeah.
So counting on Scottish weather is not enough.
oh no, it's absolutely fine. You know, potatoes grow absolutely fine here in Scotland. It's just you don't want to have them sat in the shade.
Yeah.
So, you know, we would happily grow potatoes. If we were placing them out here, we'd place them over by the fence there just to get a nice lot of sunshine. You could, yeah, just put them in the sunshine, water them, you know, maybe once a week, something like that. If you want to get really fancy, then as the leaves come up, you would add more and more compost around the leaves until you could fill the bag right up to the top there, and you'd have leaves coming out of the top. Doing that, you should stimulate more growth and end up getting more potatoes. But if equally, if you didn't want to go through that, you just have the sides rolled down and just leave it at that, and you will still get a harvest of potatoes.
Steve, I didn't notice how deep you planted the potatoes. How far under the soil are they?
So they're about 6 or 8 inches down underneath the soil.
Perfect.
So yeah, as they grow, they're going to be using up a lot of the nutrients. This is just regular municipal compost, but adding the chicken manure will put some more nutrients into the compost for the plants to grow on, to feed on as it's growing.
So we would be able to keep that compost and use it again next
You
year?
would. It would. All of the nutrients would be used up during the process. So the thing to do would be what we would do is to take the spent compost and put it on our compost heap and just mix it in with other decomposing leaves and things like that. Equally, you could just throw it onto your garden, and it would just add to your garden soil if you've got a garden.
Can I ask how would I know if I'm watering them enough or not enough? How would you work that out?
Really, it's potatoes when they're in the ground, like most plants, you know, need about an inch of rain a week. So you want to, you know, when it's not raining, you've got to replace that. Now, when things are in pots or bags like this, they tend to dry out a little bit quicker. So really all you want to be doing is just checking the appearance of the compost, maybe just sticking your finger in. If it feels moist, you're good. If it feels dry, you know you need to be adding water.
Is there any problems that could happen with growing, any diseases of the potatoes or anything to look out for? I've heard about blight. Is that a big problem?
The main concern would be a potato blight. I think you'd have to be very unlucky if you were just growing one sort of like bag or pot of potatoes to be affected by potato blight. You would see the sort of like the leaves turning brown and beginning to rot. So yeah, if you see that, then really, unfortunately, that's the end of your potato crop for the year. But like I say, you know, you'd have to be very, very unlucky to be growing potatoes in pots or bags and to get stuck with potato blight.
Great. If folk didn't come to this workshop, is there a way of them finding out more about growing with Broomhouse and Space and asking any questions?
Absolutely, yeah. So please, get in contact if you want to. Excuse me. Ask any questions about potato growing or getting involved with our community garden. The best ways are either you'll see the phone number or the email address, or just message us on Facebook. But yeah, just have a look in the description below this video.
Perfect. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.